welcome back, and thanks for joining me. For those of you whose first time it is, welcome, and for the rest of you who join me all the time, welcome back. First of all, I just got to say that you guys rock. I mean, you guys are the bomb. They took that video down twice, and they took the one that it was related to down, and when I got it back up that third time, it just spread everywhere like wildfire, and that is awesome. Because tonight, I'm going to talk about why that it is so important that we not allow them to classify us as terrorists. See, a lot of you think that it's just harmless rhetoric, okay? But it isn't. There's potential there that if they succeed in doing this, that they will be legally allowed to come and round you up and hold you forever. And I will show you that as we go along. And it's legislation that passed by landslides that allows for this. Okay? And before I get into that, right, I want to talk a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen Jeff Weber. His channel's called Bubba Kaya. He's gone around and done a lot of speeches at town hall meetings and tea parties and things like that. Well, he's trying to put together a Patriot radio station. And he's asked me to do a show. He's given me as many nights of the week as I want to do once he gets it up and running. And so what I'm going to do is, his website is www.network1776.org. So I'm going to let you go over there and check that out. I got another good friend on here, Bubba008009. A lot of you guys know him too. And it's my understanding he's also been invited to be one of the hosts a couple nights a week as well. So, and there's two others. Well, there's Bubba Kaya as well, and then there's one other individual too. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, and I'm sorry for that. But I think it's a fantastic idea, and I'm going to donate all of my time for free on the radio show. So, if you're interested in that, the link is in the box. Now, getting back to why that it is so important that we don't allow this designation. And I'm going to post the pictures again along here so that you can see what they're calling us. As well as further down in the PDF, I have the PDF file, and I'm going to link that over there as well. He says that it says something to the effect of, we have to take our country back from these relatives of Bin Laden, talking about Mr. and Mrs. Patriot out there, Mr. and Mrs. Average American. You saw those healthcare debates. Those were old folks. Those were our grandmas. They had, hand-drawn signs. Those are not people that blow up buildings and kill 3,000 people on 9/11. And that came from serve.gov. That's the president's website. And I want you to understand something too, right? The president's advisors and two of his czars were part of the Weather Underground. Okay? Bill Ayers, right, was in the Weather Underground. They really did blow stuff up. They really did threaten to kill thousands. And there's two other guys from the Weather Underground that he has as personal advisors there in the White House as well. So in reality, we have a real terrorist group that is doing things in this country. And they're doing it right under your nose. Now, how they authorized this was right after the criminal act of 9/11, which we all mourn and remember today on September 11th. They passed the Patriot Act. And under the Patriot Act is Provision 412. Now, Provision 412 allows for the gathering up of people, but it said aliens, right? In other words, it was illegals, okay? And it was put in there to be able to round them up. If they were, from another country, they could be picked up. If they were from another country and they were here, they could be watched. That's what the Patriot Act did, and I'll insert some photos of that along here. And then came H.R. 1955, the Homegrown and Violent Radicalization Act. Okay, that removed the alien status from the persons that could be detained indefinitely just because they were deemed to be a terrorist. So you see, them calling you a terrorist has meaning, folks. And when I tell you that you need to toe the line, it's because they mean it. Okay? They mean it. Look at the text. Okay? That's what these were for. They were to criminalize you, so that then they would have illegal grounds to legally send the federal government after you and round you up. And it passed by 70% vote. Everybody just cheered for it. It's like I've been saying all along. When they first began to round up the gang members and whatever they put all over TV, everyone's going to cheer. But they're going to run out of them folks fast, and then there ain't going to be nobody left but you to come get. Now, the next link in the box over there is from Greg Evanson. He writes over at newswithviews.com, so I recommend them highly. He's an ex-Secret Service / ex-Kansas State Trooper that's pretty much gone on the road giving seminars about the plans that are in different police departments and federal departments around the nation. And one of those plans involves forced vaccinations, setting up choke points on all the roads, and vaccination stations throughout, of course having them in schools.
Now, having said that, there are also plans that will ensure that you do not freely travel, nor will you be able to really go anywhere without proof that you have had the vaccination at the point that the government mandates that certain levels of the population take the inoculation. Sure, I just want to be able to go wherever I want to go, and you take it. To me, that's virtual suicide. Just slow motion suicide. So we've all talked about not getting the vaccination, that's clear, but you may not have a choice. I am told that the plans include buses that will be standing by for people at roadblocks that refuse to take the inoculation. The people will then be escorted to the buses and taken, as I was told in the state I was in at that time when I was speaking to the troopers, you're going to get a free ride to a nice warm bunk at Fort Riley. Well, it's one of several plans. We can't know until they're implemented, but I assure you that those plans are in place, and law enforcement is going to be pulled in. And one of the articles I wrote, I said the law enforcement community will enforce the New World Order. There will be many that will not, and that's good news for us. But I believe it's still a majority that will be standing in line saying, get your shot or get on the bus. That's what's coming.
Everything else. And he talks about them putting a bracelet on people. You know, it's RFID type technology, only in a bracelet. Now, I think the guy's story is 100% realistic, and it probably is exactly what he was told, because he's been out of the force for a minute now. But the new thing they have is a flu-sensing RFID implantable chip, okay, that can hold all your records, it can ID you, and it can sense if you get infected by the flu immediately once that's in your blood. And then it sends out a signal and notifies authorities to come and get you. So I got the link to that video and that article and the Joint Defense Department white paper where the Defense Department funded these chips. Okay, now Mr. Evanson, he's talking about real life plans that they have set up in place to roll the minute that emergency has been declared. I've showed you in several videos that once they've declared an emergency, that then all of this stuff is on the table to be used against you. I don't think it's ever been more serious than right now, ever. You have the President of the United States calling 65% of the population terrorists. And that designation allows you to be held, like I said, without charge and indefinitely. Forever. I'm NSM Doc, and I'll see you on the next round.